Hello all, welcome to ambariCloud YouTube channel, part of ambariCloud LLM book and upcoming. I want to discuss about what you need to learn as a starting point to become expert. Right? Snowflake, Databricks, Dreamio, Cloudera, they're all supporting AI today. Right? But before you get into those tools in AI, right, you need to learn some of the basics, some of the fundamentals, and with respect to LLM. You will not be learning, the whole deep dive of machine learning, right? Like a time series, starting with time series, linear regression, all kind of stuff you're not learning now, right? Those are nice, definitely. As you are progressing in your career, start learning those. And later I will also bring up some of those modules and then I will present to you all. But before you need to deep dive any of the AI, and you all seeing in LinkedIn, everywhere AI is getting bombarded. Agentic AI, do this, do that. A lot of high level blogs, and then a lot of confusion, a lot of stress they're creating. Okay, don't get into that, right? Start with the fundamentals first. So I started creating YouTubes on this LLM and also upload as progressing the notebooks, and you can practice, right? And then you start building your. But I'm going to start with basics. Then we will get into some good projects in the practice. For all AI learning, you need to be an expert in Python. I mean, you don't have to be the expert, doing, a lot of crazy work, but you have to have a good understanding of Python, how to compile it, and then how to write classes, how to build your project, then, how to write lists, dictionaries, and, how to design your class. It's okay if you're not learning inheritance and interfaces and all that stuff, but at least start with class minimum. Right. Then, as I said, right, you need to have a very good understanding of dictionaries, right? And then in the book here, let me walk through book here. So it's called ambariCloud LLM. I put together some of the examples also. You need to learn about type dictionary class, identity class, and data class. These are, we're going to use a lot when you're practicing it. And then when you're doing data engineering, ETL, ELT, these are also useful. Not only AI, right? These are useful when you're doing the data engineering projects, ETL, right? So practice these, and why we need to do that, and why type check is essential, and how to. Along with that, you also learn about decorators and all that stuff. Okay, so that's the first step, and you don't have to spend months and months. 20 to 30 hours is sufficient, right? But the Python is essential for your career, right? Go, Java, C++, yeah, they are, but you have to have a Python, because Databricks uses Python, Snowflake uses Python, Cloudera uses Python, the whole Spark in Python now, right? Majority of the AI code is in Python, right? So start looking at it. Practice. Every time when I get a chance, create some code and copy code and practice it. You don't have to create it. Then start learning from how to create code from ChatGPT. But at the same time, first practice, then go to ChatGPT. Because then that way you will know how to fix the ChatGPT code. Don't assume that ChatGPT is going to give you a good code. There's a lot of issues, and based on your prompt, and keep asking, but you need to practice. Then next is we're going to learn about LangChain framework. I suggest you start with LangChain frameworks, but there are many frameworks now. LangChain, Llama Index, Pydantic, and Crew AI, all those things. But you have to start the basics, right? So LangChain is good to learn. So in the LangChain is a framework to build your end-to-end applications, whether through RAG or agentic, whichever, right? So in the LangChain, first thing is we're gonna learn about how to read documents, how to read your PDF, right? How to read your Word document or text documents, and then how to convert those documents into pages, then pages into chunks, and chunks to, and then you also look at overlapping of the chunks. That means, to allow continuity between chunks, right? When you break a page, then each para should know the previous para, last line, 2 lines also. That way, then when you're doing LLM search, then it helps you the context. And then along with that, we're going to build parent small chunks. Basically, this is what it is. The previous para should give some information to the next para. Our next para should know what is the previous para is talking about. Then we're going to learn about embeddings. So we all talk about in English or some language, but computer needs to know about zeros and ones, right? So embedding is converting your text into some matrix format, tensors, right? Depends on the model and depends on your design. You will choose different sizes, 784 matrix size and all that stuff. You will learn about, and then while you are learning, focus a little bit on tensor design, right? What is a tensor? What is a matrix? What is a matrix multiplication? So just give you knowledge, right? Behind the scene, what is happening. Then we're going to learn about vector stores, right? Vector store is basically when you store all these embeddings, documents in embedding format in a vector store this embedding format. So related documents stored together, right? Elasticsearch, for example, is a key value page search, right? But it is not powerful like an embedding, which is basically you can store variety of documents, related data stored together, and then when you do similarity searches, so when these documents eventually we're going to send it to large language models, because large language models knows everything except your documents or except your SQLs, except your data model. Right? So we're going to send it to the large language. That's what the vector store. We're going to learn about MLVS and MLVS, right? It's popular. And also the Postgres is common in various organizations in various situations. Clearly, a lot of production databases are now in Postgres, particularly Hive and all those metadata that are stored in Postgres. So Postgres now supports vector search also. So now you can store embeddings in Postgres. We're going to learn about those. So start looking at, then advantage here, you're also learning about Postgres, right? Postgres SQL. Then all your vectors are stored in a tabular format here. Then you will see metadata together. So it's easy in terms of, because it's a SQL based, right? Then we're going to dive into models, right? Using again, we are within the domain of LangChain framework. Okay, how to use LLM framework to call, OpenAI or any other model or DeepSeek model, or then we want to do chatting, and then you want to do sequence of things you want to do change and all the stuff. You're going to get into in the model descriptions and then understand about models, right? When to use, directly LLM, then when to use charting, and then when you have a chain of events, then, you want to use how to use LLM chains. Then, of course, OpenAI is more popular, and more recently DeepSeek. We can download DeepSeek and you can practice it also. Initially, it's low cost, but OpenAI API also doesn't cost too much. Then next important thing is we're going to learn about RAG. We're going to spend a lot of time on RAG here. So why RAG? What is RAG? Retrieve, augment, generate. Retrieve, augment, generate, right? So your LLM knows everything, but it doesn't know anything about your documents. It doesn't know anything about your SQLs. It doesn't know your data. So what you do is you're gonna send your data, right? That's argument to LLM, right? How are you going to send it? You need to retrieve it from where? Vector store. So the vector store stores all your documents based on your prompt. The prompt is also embedding, and then it goes to the vector store. It is going to retrieve and send those documents, the chunks and parent chunks, all those things to LLM. LLM knows everything But now we are also giving our documents, and it knows how to read and how to process, and then based on its knowledge, and then, right? So think about it in a high level. Let's say you are a big data expert, but you have not learned most recent big data changes, right? But you know everything about big data. You are an LLM, big data LLM, but you have not learned most recent changes. So what we do is, this part of augmentation, we're going to give the new documents. Hey, you're a big data expert. These are the new documents. Read these, summarize it, tell me what to do, and all the stuff, right? So that's what the augmentation here. Then of course, is going to generate. So here, we're going to learn about some techniques. Are we going to use all these things? No, but we will learn about, how to retrieve and send it to, in a chain of events, because you can't get one document, you can get multi-documents, right? Then, how do you do conversational, particularly when you are using charting. Then you want to do many queries to come, right? And then you want to rephrase your prompt, right? So you write in English, and then maybe you want, hey, I wrote it, my prompt, but can you rephrase it? Can you rewrite it, right? Then your prompt will become multiple prompts. Then, you can do that. Then, you got many documents and how to do re-ranking. And then you can use different models. How do you do, different vector stores. Every vector store has their own engine, then more formulas. And then how are you going to ensemble retriever? Once you got re-ranking, self-query, all those things we learn about it. These are all here to improve the performance of, querying from vector store, improve the performance of your prompts and all that stuff. Then we're going to learn about tools and agents. What are the tools and agents? So as I said, LLM knows everything, but it doesn't know what happened today, what happened yesterday. That's what is the temperature today, what is the stock market values today, or what happened in politics today, and what happened in the news today. So for that, what we do is we're going to create a tools. So we tell the LLM, hey, I want to find out a temperature in Chicago. LLM doesn't know the current today temperature in Chicago, but you're going to give a tool to LLM. Hey, go and find temperature in Chicago or anywhere, right? So we're gonna create tools and attach to your LLM. Then we're gonna use how to use an agentic way. Okay. Next is prompting. And a lot of people use prompt engineering. No, it's not engineering. It's an art. And you keep asking and rewriting your prompt and rewrite our rewrites, and then you can finally get an answer, right? So it's an art. And then we will have a templates on that, right? So in the prompt templates, your user, right? But you at the same time, there is a system user. There is the AI user, right? You will tell, hey, I want to know what is the temperature in Chicago. Then at the same time, you are telling to the system, you as user asking a question, but you're telling the system some knowledge, saying that, oh, this is Chicago located in USA here. This is the long latitude, and this is where you find the temperature. So you're going to give you some system knowledge. The system knowledge coming from vector store, that is retrieval, is augmentation. Or your knowledge, defined knowledge. One of the example is we are looking at patient and doctor relation, a conversation, and we want the doctor rating. But how LLM knows rating formulas? When we are submitting the conversation to the LLM, we also submit the rating module, rating document. Instead of module, I will say document, rating knowledge. Then LLM reads the patient-doctor conversation, summarizes it, understands what medicine, what diseases it has, what is the tone of the doctor, what is the tone of the patient, then summarize and all that. Then along with that, based on your ranking knowledge augmentation, it will also give the ranking. Then you can those ranks send it to the HR and all that stuff. So those where we're going to talk about tools and agent. Sorry, along with the prompts also. Then also tools, right? Okay, send it to HR, send an email. Email is in a tool where you attach to LLM saying that, okay, this is our emailing system then. Okay. Then we're going to learn about how to use Longchain Spark, Longchain. So here I chose only two. But again, you can use Postgres, DuckDB, Spark, agents, how to read a database. And once you got the database framework, a data frame, then you can query and, okay, show me the top users, show me the counts, and you can do all kinds of things, right? Then you can prompt it and then automatically constructs the SQL for you. You design that one. So one other project we're going to do is, how to build a SQL engine for your Snowflake or Iceberg. Okay. So if you start learning this, right, you're going to use all these in Snowflake AI/ML functions, right? Snowflake is, again, they use Longchain behind the scene. And also when you create a functions procedures, they have Longchain framework. So one example in Snowflake is, they have a documents sitting on S3 and you read those documents, you chunk it, right? And then you store in the Snowflake index, then you do retrieve and then you can send it to the LLM, or whatever the LLM you are integrate, then you're done. So same thing when you do it in outside in a Python code and using your Spark or your machine, what you will be doing in this using a Snowflake engine, right? So if you learn, you can easily chime into Snowflake projects because you will be learning, you will be using all those things. Then we will go to next level, how to build AI agents. It's basically graph, right? Let me show you one graph. Okay. Yeah, if you look at here, this is basically graph, right? You read SQLs, generate from SQL, known SQL to prompt, then prompt, then SQL, then you compare original SQL to generated SQL based on the prompt, then you compare, and then if they are good, then you store in vector store, or if they're not comparable, we need to fix it and go back and all that stuff. This is how we're going to build using a long graph. Again, it's nothing but a Python code. Actually, it's nothing but a Python methods, but we're gonna define in a proper way, and then those will become your graph, right? So yeah, this is kind of like, if you look at here, yeah, read SQL agent, get a prompt, generate SQL, then store here, then do you want to store in JSON? If it is failed, then we're going to store in vector. So this is how we're going to build in a simple code here, just simple methods, but we organize in proper. But while you're doing it, you need to learn about Melvas, right? We're going to learn about chart LLM, and then we're going to type dict. Remember, I mentioned that you type dict, right? Then methods, right? So that's how we're going to build graph. Once you are in this level, right, you will be in a good shape to get into projects, right? But these are essential no matter where you learn, right? So focus on, there are too much material. Don't read everything. Follow the steps first. Then take examples and then download from, Gits, then practice, run those Jupyter notebooks. But if you're able to gain knowledge of all these things, then you will know what others are talking about. What is AI? Then, you can start reading generic documents. But right now, the procedures are same, how to re-prompt, change your prompt, right? All those things. Okay. So, look at, let's go to here. This is an ambariCloud Git, right? I have Iceberg book and also LLM access here. Then in the, the documents, and this is where all the videos are here. This is a book. This is a recipe book, and this is a, I think I will also add. Then when you go to here, when you go to YouTube, you have all the YouTubes here. Start looking at it, right? Practice, listen, Then, any questions, reach out to me. A lot of people, they reply, and then but you need to keep practicing. And then this book is always getting updated. We are working on it. Many folks are working on it. And when they copy the code, practice it, and then try to understand line by line what is happening. So that's about the learning path for LLM. Right. Then you can also practice later on the Snowflake side or Databricks side how to use their methods and functions. Then it will be very easy for you all. Okay. Any questions? Reach out to me, skondapalli@ambariCloud.com, and keep learning. Thank you, man.